I'm not gonna lie, it still looks really, really weird. Hi everyone, it is the Black Shadow here, just getting ready and prepped up for today's stream with the raffle over on Twitch. But I thought I'd take a moment to just put together a short video for you guys to let you know what to expect for this year, 2023, for the channel, as well as a short update on kind of where we're at anyways. So, we haven't had a huge amount of uploads over the past week or so. We did do a Christmas special with the game Save Room as a one-shot, thanks to Gene B, who gifted me to that. It is effectively Resident Evil Inventory Management, the game. It was a fun 90 minutes. I can't say I totally hated it, even if one puzzle completely beat me, and then I was like, I really should have solved that, but regardless. Other than that, though, mainly the year was just basically mopping up bits and pieces. We did spend last month going through Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, the old game for the GameCube, which had been requested quite a few times on the channel, and I finally went and played it. I wanted to like the game more than I ultimately did. I could tell the game, I think, for its time, I think was very impressive and very enjoyable. But unfortunately, I don't think it's aged particularly great. And that is a great shame. We did play through the entire run. It was a much longer game than I was expecting as well. There was some cool stuff, though. I can't complain, but it wasn't quite the cult classic that I was hoping it was going to be. And that is a little unfortunate. But the series was played to a conclusion, which I thought was fine. Singing City was also finished off, courtesy of Star, who gave that to me a couple of months or so ago. We did finish it off. Again, James, I actually quite enjoyed. I liked a lot of the raw parts of it, but the game definitely needed an additional sheen of polish, which just wasn't there. And if there was ever a sequel to the game, I actually reckon it'd be not that bad at all. But, it was an enjoyable experience. It's kind of a world and lore that I have very little experience in, so I couldn't hate it. Other than that, we've just been basically cleaning up the channel here, getting some Outbreak games up. We have still got about 30 of those left to do, which the first of which will be done in 33 minutes at time of recording. But other than that, that's basically all that's been going on the channel. It's been kind of a quiet month, and this again has been somewhat to do with my Imperium stuff over at Hidden Assets. The next 2-3 weeks are going to be very busy. In that respect, the group stages end on the 22nd, at which point it kind of starts receding as far as time commitment. But for these next 2.5-3 weeks, it's going to be a bit hectic. I'm also away as well for a couple of days in a few weeks as well, so that will cause some further complications. As far as YouTube stuff to come, I have made mention that the next series that is coming is going to be Galerians. This was the Patreon request from Garrus. Galerians from, I think it was made in 2000, is a very sort of it's kind of a Resident Evil clone. A lot of the tank style controls. I don't know very much about the game except as I talked about. I touched it once on an old demo disc in one of the old PlayStation 1 magazines many years back, and I was a little bit unsettled by what I saw. But I'm much looking forward to that. The idea and hope is to start recording that tomorrow, and hopefully start getting that up by the end of the day. Maybe on Saturday. We'll kind of see how we go there. But the plan is to start getting that recorded tomorrow. Additionally, there are other plans as well, kind of in the works. I do want to kind of do some older stuff, and obviously I've also got some more bits and pieces that I can't quite talk about yet. I'm waiting to make sure that's all going to work out. We do have obviously games coming up in the near future as well. Resident Evil Remake isn't a million miles away, and obviously once that does come out, I will be doing that on release as I normally do for the games as we go. Which probably brings me to the picture behind me. Now, it has been some time since I last did a proper RPG Let's Play series on this channel, and for good reason. They are pretty heavy time commitments, and they do require a lot of work both on and off screen to kind of get the most out of them and to, kind of really enjoy and, to bring you as best experience as I can muster. Now, you could argue, actually, it's been maybe not that long ago. XCOM 2, for example, definitely has some RPG elements to it, especially with the whole, letting you guys create your own characters and tell their own stories. The Romantic Free Kingdom series I did with Alonso a couple of years ago definitely had some RPG to it. You can even go as far as saying Parasite Eve, which we did blind a couple of years or so back. Definitely has some RPG qualities to it, but is about more than just that. But realistically, the last proper RPG I did on this channel is Dark Cloud, which I did blind over 3 years or so ago. It's the last proper one that we ever did. And since then, I've kind of stayed away. Even this one wasn't like the longest series in the world, and the fact it was also blind meant that it did kind of it limited the amount of off-screen work I could do, because obviously I didn't want to learn a ton about the game in advance, because that would kind of break the whole point of it being a secret. You get what I mean here. But I do reckon it's probably about time to start looking to do another one. And as such, that is why Dear Yuna is behind me on the display, everyone. I do intend, some point this year, to tackle Final Fantasy X-2. We did do Final Fantasy X on this channel some years back. I'm going to say about 6-7 years ago, I'm going to reckon, somewhere around then. It was a very sizable series. I went to do everything on it. This was before the HD Remaster even existed, by the way. And I went and did all the extra arena stuff. There was a load of off-screen work I did for that, and I was doing a lot of that series in the midst of my first ever stint of nights back in one of the old places I used to work, and that definitely had an effect on the recording quality of some of those videos, where I was like pretty spent but still getting the stuff out. I should have, in hindsight, taken a bit of a break to kind of not push myself so much on it, but it was what it was. I have always said I do want to do 10-2. I haven't touched 10-2 for a long time. But I always thought I actually quite enjoyed the game for what it was. It's a different experience, you know, and that's the whole point. It's meant to be kind of a different experience. And it was the first time that Final Fantasy had ever really delved into like a sequel, branching off of, like a proper sequel, branching off on its main ideas. Obviously, you got like, say, you know, Final Fantasy 7 had like Dirge of Cerberus, for example. Yes, that did exist. But, you know, as far as like a mainline entry, it was the first one. And as such, I do want to bring that. I will most likely be doing the HD remaster of it. I will say, though, if I had been doing Final Fantasy X, I probably wouldn't be doing the HD remaster of it. I actually didn't particularly like some parts of it, especially the fact they redid the musical score for 10. I didn't particularly enjoy it. I didn't like it compared to what you used to have. I preferred the original score. My understanding is 10-2 score is unchanged, which is good with me, because 10-2 has got some awesome tracks in it, and I'm glad that they've not changed either. So, as for when that's going to be, I don't know. You're probably looking spring going into summer, being realistic. I don't think it's going to be before then, and that's fine. This is sort of, you know, going out there, thinking, projecting out there. But the intention is I do want to do 10-2 at some point, and we will spend some time. It's not the longest game in the world as far as RPGs are concerned, although there is a lot of minutiae and detail that you want to delve into. The HD remaster also introduces extra bits into the game as well as an expanded super dungeon, which I will be delving into. I did do the super dungeon on my playthrough of the base game when I played it years back, and sugars me, there's some nasty stuff down there, but that's the point. It's definitely one of the hardest super dungeons, I reckon, in the series. It's got to be up there. So, anyways, that's the plan. That's the hope there. Now, this does actually also cross into the Twitch as well, and going into stuff we've done recently. A few things I do need to make a mention of. Obviously, I did mention we did do Eternal Darkness not too long ago. The Outbreak Brothel Raffle returning has already returned at this point. I have gone and have been playing, and I made a return to Devil May Cry 4 about a couple of weeks or so ago now. We hadn't touched Devil May Cry for about 2 years. I last touched it Christmas 2 years ago because I couldn't travel anywhere because of COVID, and I couldn't travel anywhere this Christmas because of transport strikes. So I was like, sure, now let's go back into this. My experiences of 4 are mixed. Some of it I really liked. Some of it kind of infuriated me. On the whole, it was an enjoyable enough experience, I guess. However, I was intending to make this onto a YouTube series and get this across. However, I have got some significant issues with getting hold of the data and running it properly for the second half of the game. I don't know why. And the problem is, it's just going to take too long to fix for it to be really worth it. So DMC4 is going to remain a Twitch exclusive series. So if you want to go check that out, I would encourage you to do so. The series will be disappearing in a few days. Although I should probably get around to just highlighting the streams I do. It's a thing that some other channels do. As a affiliate, I do get 2 weeks that a stream is remained before it is taken off, but your highlights remain forever, and you can just highlight an entire stream to save it indefinitely, and maybe that's something that I should be looking to do. So if I remember at some point tonight, I'll go ahead and do that. We also, to commemorate the changing of the channel and the fact that the old profile picture has been changed and for the newer one now being used, I did replay for New Year's Eve and going into New Year's Day Solar Jet Man, which is an old game from 1990, which has its very important place in the channel's history. If you are unaware why that is the case, I would encourage you to go and watch it. However, if you don't want to watch it on Twitch, then be glad, because there is a 6.5-hour video coming its way to YouTube of the entire stream in one big, blocky, lumpy video. Just one. I don't normally do this. I usually tend to split up the streams into multiple parts. But I partially wanted to experiment and kind of see what people made of it, see if that was a format that people liked, preferred to me kind of splitting up. It definitely was a lot less work for me to sort out. That's for damn sure. But regardless, so 6.5-hour video coming your way. And we play through the entire game. I show off the bonus well, show off as much of the secret stuff as I can. We have New Year's celebrations. I drink some Bucks Fizz. Fun time was had by the folks that were there. So, yeah, if you want to see that and you've got nothing to do for a day, there's some background music for you. You'll appreciate it, I assure you. But as far as Twitch is concerned, we are going to continue moving on here. I do have plans to touch upon DMC's remake. The remake of the original DMC. Next, that'll be on Saturday. There is a link in the Discord, which is linked below. I do remember that game came out. I wasn't invested in the series, but I heard a variety of things about folks that were invested in the series and their thoughts on the game. I'm kind of curious to see it for myself and see what I make of it, so we will be touched about on Saturday. The odds are that will probably also remain Twitch exclusive. I may or may not, once that's done, do DMC 5 and do the whole lot. That's quite possible that will be the case, but we'll see. DMC 5 has definitely been talked up to me pretty significantly, so I have some expectations for that one. But as far as things are concerned, to say for the next few weeks or so, it's going to be a little bit spotty. A lot of the Doom stuff I'm doing is encroaching on my time for this channel, and I have to accept that's the case. I've got different things on. I do sometimes think, oh, I should be kind of getting more content, but maybe it's not even that bad a thing, I'm not in a position currently where I can be doing, getting daily videos. I was able to do it for a while because that was the position I was in, but I've got my hands in a few too many pies maybe at the moment, and I want to, try and do the best I can for both sides of it, so you understand. But other than that, that's pretty much it here. A bit rambly, and I do apologise, but just give you, some thoughts and progress of what is coming up on the channel pretty soon. A reminder that we do have social medias, the Twitter sphere and the Discord. We've now got a Ko-Fi, which has mainly been for the Doom stuff, but if people fancy donating and contributing to me via here, I'd be very much appreciative of that. We do, of course, still have the Patreon as well, patreon.com/blackshadow993, and you can feel free to do as well. Don't feel obliged, ultimately, it's the weird mix that my main motivator in life is not money. It's not why I do a variety of things that I do. But being able in a position where the channel is able to fund itself, look after itself, is something I'm very grateful for. And it's a fairly privileged position to be in. It only took 11 years. No, I'm not meaning like that way, but you understand what I mean. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you do have a good and successful new year. I have no idea what 2023 is going to have in store for me. I simply don't know, and I wouldn't even want to begin predicting. It might be good, it might not be good. it's a little uncertain at the moment, and we do live in pretty uncertain times for that matter as well. So we'll see how we go. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good one, and I will see you here very, very soon for Galerians. Ta-tas.